Yeah, so this is week 8, and you can probably tell behind me what I've been up to so far for the van. Yeah. And putting a lot of insulation in. Yeah, walls are all done. Yeah, there's some gaps of that. I'm not too bothered by it, because afterwards there's going to be a layer of wood paneling over everything, which is going to create an air gap. That'll be a pretty good insulation as well. So, yeah, and then yeah, roof is, I'd say, 30 to 50% done. You can see at the back here, I was doing some larger panels to start, and there's a bug in here. Lovely. And then moving forward, I've switched to thinner strips to fit with the pattern of ridges, so I get better adhesion and avoid some of the gaps in kind of awkward fits that I had at the back here. Right, so I'm gonna let everything kind of dry and settle for an hour or so before taking it to the vacuum cleaner, just so, you know, nothing's falling up while I'm driving. But yeah, everything is insulated except for the doors, because I'm gonna leave that till later. But yeah, wanna get this to the car wash tonight to vacuum everything out, because I like to reclaim the passenger seat. It is a little cluttered with all the stuff I had to move up to make room to work in the back.
Hello there.
It Mike's
General Kenobi.
So, yeah, I think this was week, but I've kind of lost track. I'm at Mike's place. He's behind the camera.
Yep.
The plan for today is to put this window and the doors you can't see over there. I'm gonna put this down before I drop it.
Hello there.
You can't start every clip with "Hello there."
Darn.
Worked well for the intro. I think it's gonna get old by around like minute 5.
Nah, you're wrong.
So, what we have is I just cut out some cardboard from the box the window came in. Taped down the clamp ring, traced out the inside, because that's where we're gonna have to cut roughly. And then I'm gonna cut that out, and then check up against the panel on the door before grinding out the little anti-buckling strut. And then after that, it comes the part I really do not want to mess up: drilling and cutting. I got this to cut roughly to shape. We'll worry about actually getting it on the outside and lined up later. For now, time to take these out. Also, if Mike suddenly drops the camera to his chest and starts running, it's because he's standing on some rather dry stuff, and we do have a hose ready in case. Again, I'm gonna try to avoid that and shoot sparks towards the interior, which is a bunch of wood and foam. And why did I think this was a good idea? Actually, no, I can't shoot if I'm actually grinding like that. Right, sparks are going this way. I'm definitely gonna have to file that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to see what I was doing.
Yoink my doink.
Say that again and I'll hit you with this. I remembered something I was going to say in the intro before getting distracted. Yeah, I want to try to get all this done before Friday, because Friday, one of my friends who's leaving the country for like 6 months is having a little going away party. I'd like to make it to that. And then Saturday after work, I'm driving, I think, 5 hours to a family camping trip. So, got the kind of outline transferred to that side. I don't think I've got it perfectly in place. It seems like it's setting a little low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do initial cut, stay probably centimeter or two within from the outside, and then once that's cut out, I'll actually be able to see the inside as I cut, and then I can go back over and tidy it up. That sounds great. Is there a lower speed? Smile, you're on camera. It's also really dark, so you look quite creepy. Keep your head off the microphone. Yeah, so lights, please. The windows are in. I'm gonna try to get back, but it's like 11 at night, so I'm keeping this brief and rather quiet. But yeah, the reason none of this was filmed up to this point is things weren't exactly going to schedule. Hence it being 11 at night, and we just finished putting in the windows. But
it doesn't look like crap.
yeah, put a bit of putty tape around just because I was worried it wouldn't quite seal without it, so I'll clean that up another time. And on the inside, the only hint of this not entirely going to plan is going to be that there is 2 different types of screws holding that clamp ring on. Yeah, there's a few of the proper ones at the bottom, but we needed some longer ones to get started, especially at the top, because even with 2 of us pushing on opposite sides, it was not coming close enough together for those short little screws to grab. So it is now the morning. That's where the windows are. Looks pretty good. I'm running a bit late, so this is going to be rather brief. I want to swing by the vacuum before work, because there's a bunch of both styrofoam and metal dust everywhere. With that done, I wanted to be able to use the fridge that had now arrived for the camping trip I mentioned. So I set up my electrical system in a temporary manner by duct taping it to a wheel well. Jumping ahead to after the camping trip, for some reason I decided to stain the floor while it was dark out, when it actually turned out fairly well despite not being able to see much of what I was doing. Oh yeah, a quick note. I'm editing this the day before I leave on my big trip, so I'm kind of condensing this video to include everything up until my test trip. Also, before I go any further, I'm just going to leave a pause here because I've been terrible at editing. Here's all the stuff I kind of forgot to record fully, but that led up to this point over the past few weeks.
Everything.
So keep the camera rolling. So now that you're caught up, so today we made a trip to Rhoda to get more wood paneling to put on the walls. And then I picked this arrow cover for the vent up at Canadian Tire a few days ago. Actually, no, yesterday. I'm losing track of time. So anyway, we've got it drilled in, bolted to the end. I just need to tighten down these nuts for the carriage bolts. And then we need to put the upper on. And that will allow me to have the roof vent open while driving and while it's raining, which is kind of nice. And then, because when we first put the panels on, I was going to do an external seal and then forgot to. So it rained like a week ago and there was a very small leak problem. So I got some putty tape. We're just going to loosen off the brackets, shove that under there, tighten them back down, and that should hopefully deal with the leak problem. I've already done all along this side and the back too, but what we're doing is just back these screws off a lip, lifting it up, as you can kind of see here. That creates a gap. Tear off a strip, form it into a curve, slide one end under, till you get both ends, squeeze them together, and then tighten it down, and that'll squish the putty into a nice. And this is how we're fixing not doing it properly the first time. Everything up on the roof is now complete. So now it's time to start on the walls. So I should stop saying so often. These metal beams, rather than trying to drill a pilot hole in and line up a screw weld dealing with holding up the wood paneling, what we're going to do is I've got this massive project plank over here. What we're going to do, cut it to the correct width, chop it up into shorter segments, so it will actually fit the curvature nicely. And then screw that in, because it'll be a lot easier to line up a small piece. And then when we're actually putting the wood paneling on, we don't have to worry about exactly hitting a hole, we can just drill straight into wood. Hopefully this will kind of show the plan a bit better. Everything's laid out next to the beam it will be attaching to. I still need to cut them up to fit the curvature, but once that's all done, gonna drill holes through, send screws in, and that'll hold everything on, and then the wood will be a nice little area to anchor the paneling to. Right, this might be the last update for the night, depending on how late it's getting. It's already like 11, but yeah, we're just doubling up the wood at the top here, so it's a bit more even. You can see where the, come on, focus. You can see, yeah, we've doubled it up so it comes kind of flush. And then, rather than doing both layers of paneling, we're putting the rough layer, which goes in behind, kind of in, at least on the walls. Then at work, I'll grab a bunch of cardboard, cut it out to nicely contour shapes. We can use that to cut it out later. It'll look very nice when it's done. I am just putting in the paneling on the van. I did the rest of the inner layer yesterday, so you can see it's now complete. Yeah, so Bryce helped me put a couple on last week. He's busy this week because he's at college, so I'm kind of doing this about when it comes to the roof. I think Mike said he'd be able to, I need to check in with him actually. But yeah, I've got the first of the outer panels there, looking good. I've just cut the second, so I'll put that in, and what I've been doing is just tracing out the area I need with cardboard, taping it down to the wood, and using that utility knife to cut it. Next weekend, start doing the shelving and interior furniture, so I'll have to figure out how to mount this futon in a way it can still be collapsible, but it is raised up a little more. And then there'll be storage at the end, which probably goes on top. Shelving there, we'll figure that all out. Right, so Mike and I have spent, I'd say, the last 20 minutes gaining a greater appreciation for power tools. Got 3 out of the 4 cuts done, got that big piece out. So what we're doing is we've already doubled up the solar panel mounts, and then just making a bit of an L piece to go on here, and then we can start doing the roof paneling. Yeah, we just took a break to rehydrate, but roof panels, at least the inner layers, mostly in. Got one more strip to do, then I'm going to do the second set. And yeah, that should hopefully go really quick, because I've got 3 good panels, so we can just cut them at 4 inches, so 4 feet in length. It's 9 feet long, each of them's 3 feet wide. It'll work out nearly perfectly. Then at the end, I'm just going to try to like drill in there to secure that. I'm just hoping I don't break a drill bit. Right, I'm not actually sure how late it is. Not as late as I usually go when I'm at Bryce's, but focus, and voila, the roof's in. I'm currently at Bryce's garage. He's not here because, well, today's Sunday. On Friday, he rolled his ankle and broke his foot. And then Michael was here earlier, but he had to get home because he works tomorrow. So, yeah. Good to be left on my own with power tools. That'll be fun. Yeah, yeah, I've been here for like 3 hours, and so far we've made around this much progress on the shelf, and I also got to play Bicycle Repairman for a bit. Yeah, it's like 2 weeks till the end of the month, and that's when I'm going to the concert, so I've got a bunch to do. But yeah, I guess that's a good thing to update. Yeah. So this is the van. Walls are all paneled up. Actually, Friday after work, I went through, stained the walls and roof. Looking good. Yeah, and that shelf is going to sit right here, screwed down to the floor. That's what the base is for. Just gonna sit around the wheel well. Right, for the sake of keeping it short, I'm just going to show you some clips as I was going through working, but this shelf took way longer than I thought it would to build. From this corner where the fridge is going to be, I've got the wires run up, trying to go in this channeling as much as possible, but going around, and then it's down. I've got it hooked up to the fuse. I think that should be good. Fridge should only be drawing 45 watts. There'll be some efficiency loss through the converter, but I don't think it should be drawing more than 60 watts, so that fuse should be good. There we go. So, yeah, got that panel in, got the back end done. I think I've got enough wiring left that I can, in the morning, connect up the voltage regulator for the lights, figure out where those bus bars are going, which I think might be on the inside of there. And I might put the switches at the back here. Not entirely sure. So it's Tuesday night. This is going to be the only clip for the day because I've kind of just been busy wiring, and that's not too interesting to look at. Just a lot of me struggling to get some wire through a channel. Anyway, rather than explaining, let me just show you what I did. Anyway, what I've been doing so far is making these parts of the frame that's going to support the bed. It doesn't raise it up that high, because what I want to preserve enough headspace. I'm not crouching over when, you know, don't want to hit my head on this every time I go to use the couch. So I've cut those. These aren't complete. They're actually going to be rectangular. It's just that those, I need to have them as these kind of U sections first so I can drill it to the floor. Otherwise, there's no way I'm going to be able to secure them down. I've just realized a slight issue. I definitely mismeasured something. Shit. So, simple solution. I'm gonna get some cuts of 2x4. Think 3 total. Go across. Then back across. So I need to secure these in place. Measure out. Cut. Screw. Cut. Screw. Eventually I got the futon in place, which the solution of just stacking a couple more 2x4s to raise it up worked fine, and then I've got some barrel bolts to hold it in place while I'm driving. Anyway, moving on to the actual test road trip itself. The concert was good. There was one main issue, which was I found out my phone doesn't like US SIM cards, and that held me up a bit. And the other takeaway from this trip was I'm going to do my best to avoid major cities because I really don't like driving in them. And yes, this is why I chose a clip of my view from traffic as I got passed by half of a house. Anyway, I am recording this voiceover and finishing editing this video the day before I leave on my actual big road trip, so the next video is going to be pretty much all the changes I made up until now, and then maybe the first day or two for the trip. We'll see how this goes.